Hello everyone, hello everyone, hello. I need my prayer cloth, I need my prayer cloth. You see my prayer cloth over there?
Where is your prayer cloth?
See my prayer cloth, son? It's sparkle. It probably is. Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Y'all say hey to the people.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Hold on guys, we're gonna get set up. Unfortunately, we are still waiting on Syria, who is actually coming from New Orleans, Louisiana. So bear with us. We were trying to wait. You don't see it? Oh Lord, they're gonna get all the goodies, son. They're gonna get all. Don't worry about it. Sit on down.
You need the prayer cloth.
I know. Oh, there you go. There you go.
Hallelujah.
Look at Jesus. Hello. Hello, y'all. Okay, so what we're doing, guys, right now, we're gonna get set up because we want to make sure all our devices are where they need to be. We'd like to welcome you guys to the show. Give us a second. Right.
Where I need to be.
Continue to share. Continue to share. We are here.
Hey.
I try to go. There you go.
All right.
Okay, turn your volume down. It's coming. Turn your volume down.
All right.
We're trying to get it together, guys. We're trying to get it together.
So I want to say, share post name.
Yeah. Just share on your page. Yeah, just please share. We coming. We're trying to get it right. Syria, if you're watching, send us a smoke signal. Let us know where you are. If you are watching, Syria.
And it's building.
Is it building?
Yeah.
Great.
It's building.
Share this live before we get started, guys. We normally I like to start the show with music, but unfortunately we are on YouTube at this very moment now. So to prevent any problems, we're not doing music. We're just gonna bring it to you. We have an amazing special guest for you guys. As you can tell, as usual, Atlanta weather is so many things, and I'm sure you can hear I'm stuffed up as normal.
Me too.
But let me get set up. I'm getting set up. Are you set up, DeRay? You set up? Okay, you set up? Are you set up, Christopher?
I'm set up.
Are you set up? Okay, I got you.
So we put on the nose.
Camera is far back, can hardly see you. Okay, we're trying to get it together. We ain't really trying to do no makeup close up because we want to get everybody in. But keep sending us the messages. Keep sending us the messages because we're trying to get it right. Before we start. Because once we start, we're off and running.
Yeah, that's it. Drop that prayer cloth.
They already said it. Show the world.
Now ain't you see? Give my holy water. Give my holy water. Okay, so I'm still getting set up. While we are getting set up, guys, we're gonna go ahead and invite our special guest in before we even. Well, wait a minute. Before we invite our special guest, let me do the introduction. Now, I'm sure you guys are familiar with What's Popping on the Book with just myself. This is What's Popping on the Book, the panel. Starting with
Christopher Yvonne.
Deloria F. Mendoza.
DeRay Sierra Saunders.
And a couple others that haven't arrived yet, so we don't want to jump the gun and introduce them. One of them will be working, so he will not be with us this week. He will be back with us on next week. I'm your host, Tamisha Iman. But we do have a special guest that will be taking the place of one of our panelists that's not going to be here. Please help us welcome. You know her, you love her, the body yada yada. Give it up for Miss Jasmine Bonet. Jasmine Bonet is with us.
Baby.
Come on, Jasmine. So, yeah, I'm trying to make sure that all of us are in the actual shot before I start. We have some great topics. Let me turn my phone down. Yeah, come on in some more, Jay. Come on down. Come on down, DeRay. It's all right. Y'all can block me. It's okay. Block me. I'm fine with it. Can I get my pad? Because I don't have my pad.
Where's your pad? I think you're looking.
No, my pad probably over by JB. No, is that what mine is? That one mine? Okay, cool. Okay, we good. Everybody's in the shot. Everybody looks good. You guys can follow along with your comments below. We're going to try to get everything. Oh, yeah, we are kind of far back, huh?
Yeah.
Are we far back? No, I'm talking about on the camera.
Yeah, you are. You look really far.
Don't I look far? That's good.
Yeah.
But I'm in the group, so I don't want to get up there because I don't. My prayer cloth is back. Look at it. See Jesus? It already ain't doing right. We put on the clipboard.
Let's see how that works.
I know. So y'all can get if y'all makeup is done and y'all want to get closer, y'all more than welcome to get up there to the camera.
I'm absolutely fine.
I'm good with what's going on.
Okay. So any
It's more
comments
of
so
a-
far?
It's more about what we talking about.
Huh?
Yeah.
It's more about
Okay.
what we talking
I know I gotta turn me down.
about.
Yes, yeah.
But
Y'all
we're
give it up for
building.
JB. Give it up for JB.
One more time.
I'm talking about the audience. You know what we do? We send emojis. Show love.
Right. Hearts,
Oh,
hearts,
but we are
hearts.
building.
Hearts,
We are
hearts.
building.
Girl, yeah.
Oh, we ain't paying no attention to the numbers because the numbers are fooling.
They
But
put us.
we do encourage you guys. We want you to share. We want you to like. We want everybody to understand that this panel was formed merely for our community because as veterans in the community, we often feel it is important to be a leader and to voice your opinion and to address some of the issues that are not really being discussed within our community. You know, someone mentioned to me the other day, what about the newbies? What about some new blood on the panel? I am welcoming new blood to the panel. So if you are interested in being on the seat, on the couch, messenger me, let me know that, hey, I will be available. This is our first season. This season ends May 14th. We will be having our live taping on May 14th in Atlanta at Club Mix. If you choose to be in the audience, tickets go on sale not this week, but next week. So we wanted to start something that hadn't been done really in our community on a collective scale like this with so many title holders. So now, all of the panelists have particular topics that are close to them that they want to discuss throughout the week. I'm sorry that we're far back. Trust me, it's all kind of when you're starting something like this, there are all kind of hits and misses. So just bear with us. We'll get it right. If you have any comments about what can make the show better, please feel free to voice your opinion. Now, we're going to get started with our first topic. Is that fine?
Yes.
Okay. Our first topic, and keep in mind, guys, we want you guys to be engaged. We're going to open up the phone lines next week. We're not going to open up this week because we have a lot going on. And everyone on the panel has something they want to convey to you guys, something that we're doing because we're always working within the community, trying to export our talents and just be visible still within the community. So Jasmine is here as a special guest, but she has something very important that we're going to talk to you about. It's going to be after the first 30 minutes, so hopefully you can stick around and find out what she has to offer and what she has to say, because it's very important. Keep in mind, we are live on Facebook and YouTube. Now, the YouTube, I'm sorry, the Facebook, we're only, and you see my eye running? I don't know, I can't stop. The Facebook is only going to be live for 30 minutes, and then we're switching to YouTube. So if you're not familiar, I will post the YouTube link at the bottom, so you can go to YouTube to finish out the show. Now, our first question, or our first topic of the evening, will be coming from Mimi. Duray. Oh, Duray. We'll go with Duray. I'm sorry. Can I get a tissue, please? Because this eye's doing some stuff. But yeah, Duray, go ahead.
The topic that I definitely wanted to speak on, because I've seen it throughout the span of my life since I entered this community, the separatism of the transgendered, our gay men, and our lesbians. Rarely do I see an inclusive group where we're all out together. Like you may see the gay men hanging out with the lesbians, or you may see a few of our transgender girls hanging with some of our gay men. But I noticed that there is such a big separatism. We as a community, we scream for equality. We want to be treated equal. We want to be accepted. I'm not big on acceptance as I am on respect. But my biggest issue is, how can we scream for this equality when there's so much separatism within us as a people? Yes, all of us have lanes, like a highway. You got to stay in your lane and drive so you don't make a wreck. But I don't see the inclusion of us as a whole. I cannot say that I have seen my transgender sisters, my gay men, and my lesbians, or whoever else is under our LGBTQ alliance or rainbow, when we're out together as a group, like even coming to pageants. The boys gonna come with their friends, some of the girls gonna come with their friends, and the lesbians and our femme and stud lesbians, they come with their friends, but rarely do I see us all, like, all of us together. And yes, you have your favorites of when they're competing, that sort of thing, but my issue is, where does the separatism end? When do we just accept people as we are? We all want to be accepted, so we say, but we're the biggest group of racists, bigots, and separatists that I know. And that rattles my whole cage. Chris?
Well, in actuality, I was going to ask you, what solution? Why are you thinking that? What do you think is the first step?
Honestly, just being transparent and being sincere and genuine when people see you out. I think sometimes when we're under these national titles, some of us have a sense of self-entitlement, and you think that you're better than, or you're grand, or you're fierce. But when someone comes up to you and says, I really appreciate your work, or I really enjoyed you, being as genuine and humble and as nice as you can, and remember that you only win that for a year. You ain't got 1 year to be with us. But you may form a lifetime of a friendship. You may form a bond. You might make a business contact. It could be anything, but don't be so full of yourself that you can't even say, thank you, I appreciate you. It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice.
So is that geared more toward a generation, or is that just abroad?
I'm gonna say my generation, more so the younger kids are a little better about being friendlier and being nice to one another. They seem to be a more accepting group. But I do believe our generation was very cliquish. I don't like you because my clique don't like you. I don't know you. You didn't get that to me.
Right.
So I think it's our generation, and some of us have, with the families when they had to carry the names, the Amants, the Bonets, the Duprees, all of these people.
This one is frozen?
Oh.
Is it frozen?
Well, I thought it was frozen too, but it's not frozen.
Oh.
I just noticed that sometimes things are passed down through generations, and at some point, as they say, you break a generational curse. But my thing is, for me, as I travel, I am never too above myself to say thank you. I'm never above myself to say please. I tell people when I'm on the mic emceeing, we appreciate you, thank you. And it might not be much. It might not, thank you may be small, but it means something. Go ahead, Mimi.
I just want to ask the question because I want to make sure I understand what you're saying. I want to ask the question because I want to make sure I understand what you're saying. And I'm speaking up so I'm not yelling at you. I don't want you to think I'm yelling at you.
No,
We got to make sure you guys can hear us.
Okay. When you say separatism
Mm-hmm.
and divisiveness,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure I can totally relate to that.
Okay.
Because in the community, I feel to believe like minds tend to gravitate towards one another, especially when we're hanging out individually as friends.
Yes.
No matter if we're supporting or going to the same pageant, going to the same event, or let's say, for instance, the No AIDS Walk. I see everybody out there, and everybody is out there supporting the walk, but everybody is enjoying their friends. I don't think at that time that anyone is purposefully trying to divide or not be united. Everybody is out there for the same cause. So to say that separatism and divisiveness is a problem, I'm not aware of it. So I don't see it that way.
I see both hand in hand. I see exactly what you're saying, and I see exactly what you're saying. I remember first. Well, I remember this. You probably don't even remember. It was when I first moved to Atlanta, and Jasmine was at the mall. But Jasmine was at the mall with two people I did not know. Now everybody knows Jasmine Bonet is pastor. So we're at the mall, and this was like a long time ago. Whoever she was with, they were more so like pretty much in a wig, and you knew they were a boy. So I remember specifically I was with somebody, and I kind of like walked the other way. I kind of spoke to Jasmine, but I walked the other way, and Jasmine was like, "Oh, you being funny?" She probably don't even remember this. So, "Oh, you being funny, Chris?" And the thing about it is that I don't think there's levels to where you have to accept who you are first. And once you accept who you are, it doesn't matter who you're with. And that's where Jasmine was, but at that particular time, I wasn't there yet.
And I'm
So I'm thinking that the first step is actually
self-acceptance.
Really self-acceptance. It's acceptance. And that's even with some of the girls that are transitioning. I think that, they have to, accept themselves, especially when it comes to, and understand that there are levels to other people, how they, perceive them, they can't get upset and be so like, that way.
And I'm glad that you, I'm sorry for cutting you off. I'm glad that you spoke of that because my hairstylist, one of our best friends, was the perfect example of this. When I first started transitioning in 93, 94, Reggie went everywhere with me. That was my go-to, everybody. Reggie did my hair, Reggie zipped me, I would do my own makeup, she might touch me. Long story short, Reggie had gotten very sick in the hospital, and I did my first pageant without her, which terrified the hell out of me. And I won every category. I did my own wig, I'd never done my own updo. Now, I went to school and got a license to do hair. I could do everybody's hair, but I could not. Well, I didn't think I could make me an updo.
This is totally different.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a gift. But the basics they teach you will get you there. So, Chris, I have done my own updo. Somebody else zipped me and sewed into my dress, and I won every category. I went to go see Reggie. So I went to go see Reggie in the hospital, and I took Reggie the evening gown class, and she sat up in the bed. She was like, "I'm so proud of you." Well, her mother and sister were there. No, her sisters were there, and I left, and she said, "My sisters thought you were so beautiful." And I say all that to say this: Reggie at one point was ashamed to go places with me because I had already started transitioning, and I like to be done. I love lots of hair, I want my makeup, I want my heels. That's the kind of woman I want to be. And it was her family accepting me that made her say, I will go anywhere with you. So I get what you're saying. So that's where I was speaking of the separatism within us, because at the end of the day, until we present a united front, no one is going to take us seriously. And I get what you're saying with the AIDS walk, whatever. We came together to support one common cause. But when I speak of the separatism and the division, that divisiveness that I see in the clubs, in the cliques, and the everyday, that's why I'm like, how y'all want us to fight for you and you ain't fighting for yourself?
I think everybody has to be able to fight their own battle, because when you are deciding to be trans, or when you say, I'm gay, I'm a lesbian, that's your walk you have to take. And you can't expect everybody to walk alongside you. You can't expect everybody to be able to accept you, embrace you, because there are some people I'd rather not walk with. Because I'm not, I don't walk with everybody just because they say they're trans. I think some people need to leave that at night. I'm not going to walk with everybody just because they're saying they're trans. I'm not comfortable with that. It doesn't mean that I don't support them or I reject them. I'm just not comfortable with it. So if somebody's not comfortable walking with me, I don't feel some kind of way. I just be like, okay, well, cool. That's their journey, not mine.
And I think that's where the K-22 comes in. Go ahead, Josh. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Get into it.
I think that it all goes to, I heard your view, definitely heard Jennifer, and I heard you too. But the beginning of it all is when you create labels. They are created to do what?
Separate you.
Yes. So they were created to do that. So that's part of the system. We have to learn how to work within the system. We can't. Only way we really can prosper is to learn how to deal with being called trans, and nobody wants to walk with trans. Everybody wants to stay in their own label, their own shelf in the grocery store. You don't put certain things together. That's just how they chose to do it in life. So I think when we learn to really deal with that, then we overcome it. Because it's just a title.
And I'm with you there. But
At the end of the day,
They said they can't hear you, Jasmine. I'm sorry.
Speak up, Mom. Talk up.
at the end of the day,
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
it's just a label. It's the ingredients. I say that all the time. That makes sense.
And that part I get, but this is where, for me, because I travel so much and I'm in so many different venues, when I specifically see these things, not necessarily towards me, but when I see people shading one another or being a mess to each other, how do you want me to fight for you, but you sucking it to each other? And I'm down
So
for,
you don't
and you
see
can't
that
say
ever?
everybody.
You don't ever see that?
I need you
I
to
don't
travel
see
with
it
me.
that way, because my thing is, I've been trans since I was 19. At the time I was trans, I was pre-op transsexual. All these different labels come as they go, as the years go by. But my journey was my journey. When I first went to a club, me and my best friend, I was living my normal life. so to speak, and we would go to a club called Biggles, and there would be a show going on, and my baby would look through the door and say, oh, there's a drag show, let's go somewhere else. Now you can't keep me from these shows. I think everything with people comes with time. You can't expect that if you are on your journey and you're comfortable where you are at, you have to automatically assume that your family and your friends should just jump on board. Because if it's for you, you have to give them the time and the respect that they deserve so that they can acclimate towards whatever journey you're taking so that they can appreciate you as you grow. Because if you throw it on somebody and impose it on them, they're not going to be able to accept it because they're still trying to process it. So if you're telling me I have to accept you because you should love me, then that's making it a little bit uncomfortable. As long as you accept and love yourself, others will follow suit.
And with that being said, so we're supposed to love and accept whatever they throw at us?
Well, you know, like, I have some family that may say they want to still refer to me as Sean. That's my given name. If you call me Sean, I have no problem with that. But I guarantee you this, you will not call that to me in the closest proximity because that's a sign of disrespect. If I tell you my name is Shannon, my name is Mimi, or whatever it may be, or whatever I respond to, and you don't respect me enough to say, I'm not going to call you that, or I may refrain from saying that, then I'm going to say, okay, you want to be disrespectful, so I'm not going to feel hurt by it, but I will say this, you won't be around me to say it again.
And luckily for you, you have a gender neutral name, because Sean is a girl and Sean is
It
both.
sure is, and I don't appreciate
So,
it.
I get what you're saying because,
Sean was a name they gave to a little boy.
but I get that, but you know, did we have so many females named Sean? So I'm with you, but my question to you basically was, like you said, we cannot force anything on anyone, and that is never my issue. My thing is, treat me the way you want to be treated. So if you expect me to accept you with all of your stuff, then you accept me with all of mine, or we just going to agree to disagree.
I can accept you from a distance.
That's all I'm saying.
If you're not what I'm used to or what I can't conform with, I can agree
And
to
it's not
disagree,
about
and I
that.
want
But
to be.
and I think we're confused. Acceptance is not what I'm saying. Respect is for me. Acceptance is irrelevant. Let me be very clear.
This is the thing, the whole ordeal. This is a lifestyle.
Mhm.
So in a lifestyle, in a perfect world where the saying is, oh, I wish we, can we all just get along?
Kumbaya.
It's not going to happen. So when you're talking about this lifestyle, it is the same as the heterosexual or whatever lifestyle.
No.
And there's no different.
And so what it is, there will be causes to where we all support each other, you know, and it might take the cause for us to come together. But this is no different than high school where you have the geek club, the jocks, the
nerds, nerds, all the
it's no different. Now they might have a pep rally where they all come together because they're celebrating the school spirit.
Yes.
But you're not gonna always see the football jock with the nerd. You're just not. So in a perfect world, yes, it would be nice if we all can all the time just say, oh, you know what, today I'm going to call such and such and I'm going to hang around
But I think
the lesbian, you know, whatever.
Well, okay, so
and not to say that it's not like that with some people. I'm just saying that, you know, yeah, you just have people that you prefer
that you gravitate to, and that ain't my issue.
J Love said, no, this is not a lifestyle. So
who said that?
J Love.
J Love said, so if this is
That's what I'm trying to see, because I get what he's saying, but at the
explain
same time, I guess, and I could be assuming wrong, but this is a life choice, but not a lifestyle. I could be possibly wrong. I don't know what you mean. So you gotta.
I didn't make no choices.
You made no choices.
No, I'm just who I am.
And because I'm reading Terry Savoy's, I'm reading his comments, and this is the deal. Terry, and I'll have to specifically speak to you because I'm reading your comments. Approval, again, is not what I'm seeking, and I think that's where the misconception comes
Well,
in.
the misconception
Respect
Okay.
is what I am talking about. I don't care about whether you accept me or not. That is irrelevant. But you're going to respect me because you want me to respect you. So you don't get to disrespect me or come at me sideways and keep forgetting that I'm human. And my whole argument about all of this was until we learn to respect each other in their lanes And until we learn to treat each other with the same respect that they want, there will always be the separatism and the divisiveness. I'm with you with the, no, we're not gonna hang out with everybody we meet. No, y'all, I didn't want y'all to misunderstand that. All I'm saying is, when we are in social settings where we're all grouped together, how hard is it to say hello or be nice? How hard can that be?
Right. And that just goes
So
back
back to
to
high school.
Yeah, it goes back to
But shit now.
Throw me in closet.
And you were, and I was the opposite. I thought like hell. So ain't no beating up in no closet.
Okay,
I
guys,
am.
we got 60 seconds on this topic. Y'all want to wrap it up?
So
I wanna know what because
Well, are we waiting on J Love? Okay,
Yeah,
so guys, we're
I-
gonna include you guys in the show, but at the same time, we're gonna need you to pick these keys a little faster. If you want us to,
because when I first came out, that's all I used to hear. You in the life? I was like, what does that mean? So it's like, so is this like, you know, a lifestyle, or is it, I mean, what is it? Because maybe, yeah,
my daughter
family.
said respect comes from free. Respect comes free. It doesn't matter what your lifestyle is. I got you, Nikita.
Right.
Okay. What?
all I was saying, because I'm reading these comments and to generally address all of you all, at the end of the day, what I'm speaking of is my community, because I'm not speaking of the straight world, because we got to fix what's wrong with us first before we can even tackle with them folks over there, because they're not my concern. As I'm living at 47 years of life,
Hold on. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And
Are y'all
as I
done
see-
with me with these comments?
I'm reading some of it, but as I see this, when I go to the different clubs and I go to the different venues, when I'm seeing, again, still, I don't even understand in 2018 how you got the nerve to have a clique of anything. Baby, you need to be making sure you on point doing your life, being the best you that you can be. And all I'm saying is respect is due to a dog. You would avoid hitting a dog in the street. So how you don't respect so hard to do? That's it. That's all I want to know. And that was my whole point of all this. Acceptance was not the key. I just need general respect of us as people so we can get better.
You gonna add something better?
Please.
No, go ahead. Okay. And we plan to discuss on this panel. Also, guys, I'm looking to decide if we should start a chat room for this conversation to be continued, or because I've created a lot of stuff that people haven't partaken in, so I want to make sure if you think we need to create a chat room so it can be an after conversation after the show, because we are covering major topics. You already know I pushed the envelope, but if you think we need to create a chat room, just type agreed. If you don't, say don't agree, and we'll keep it moving. At this time, I'm going to turn the floor over to Christopher Iman, because like I stated, all of us are having, we have things that we need to promote and things that we need your support on. So Christopher, what you got?
Okay, I want you guys, please do not forget, April 30th at Club Mix, we are having a all-male showcase. Actually, it's not an all-male. We are featuring some of the girls, but it's kind of like we flip the script. You know how most shows you might have 1 or 2 guys to, you know, to kind of, you know,
Spice up the show.
break the monotony up, I guess,
Okay.
if you
I
want
like
to say.
that.
Now we have an all-male showcase, and we're featuring some of the girls. I'm not going to release any names, but just know they're from all over. They're
What about the guys? You said you're not going to release the names of the girls, or you're not going to release
I'm
the
not
names of
going
the guys?
to. I don't want to release.
Just give me one. Give me one to buy a ticket.
But just know they're all genres, all ethnicities. So if you're gonna get some Latino poppies and mommies and some.
I know who that is.
White, black, naked, fashionable, dancing. Everybody
slide on the show.
Everybody is doing their one hit. One showstopper. That's what it is.
Chris,
Everybody bringing their best.
Chris,
and we have 4 beautiful entertainers that are going to do the same. Female impersonators, well, not impersonators. Female entertainers that are going to be doing the same. So please, April 30th. You do not want to
What time does it start?
miss out. The doors will be opening at 10. Show will start at 11. But I implore you, please come when the doors open. It's going to be a fantastic show. It's costing me a lot of money, but I think it's for a good cause. The theme is "Let's Hear It for the Boys," because you know a lot of times we do take back seat, you know, and so this is the one time that we're just asking you guys to support us. One time out the year. It's all about us. So please.
We are?
Oh,
Yeah,
says
okay.
you're not.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay.
We're not. Some of you guys' screens may be frozen. Ours is not here. We're checking. We got 5 different phones, and you know we're trying to make sure that we haven't froze for you guys. So, okay, we're getting ready to go on into our next topic. The panel
Yes, and it comes from me.
comes from who?
Me, Mendoza.
Mendoza. Speak up, baby, so we can make sure you get it out there.
Okay, here's the question that I propose. How do we awaken our dreams, goals, and aspirations we have allowed to die? How do we awaken those dreams, reawaken those dreams? What it is, you know, like sometimes...
Did y'all hear it? Did y'all hear it? You wanted to repeat it again just to be safe? Because once you're I'm sorry, I mean, you know, I just want to make sure if he, can you repeat it for me, please, one more time?
Sure. How do we awaken, or we awaken rather, our dreams, goals, and aspirations we have allowed to die? Basically, it's like when you are younger, maybe you decided to go to high school, or maybe you decided to go to college. Sometimes people feel as though as time go by, that time and opportunity has passed. How do we reawaken our goals? It's not
At
just,
this age?
Yeah, at this age.
At this age, this moment, this time?
At this moment, for some of us who are a little bit past the 40s, and for some of those who are in their 30s who may, if I remember correctly, I have had some of the same questions. When do I get started? When will I start? Or when will I go back to doing things when I was in my 30s? Now I'm in my 40s. I shouldn't be in my 40s asking myself those same questions. Because I see people who basically were born years after myself, and they have done well, and they're doing good. Not to say that I'm struggling or anything, but I think that sometimes when you get to a certain point in age, you just tend to think that your time has passed. And I don't really think that people should sit back and let their opportunities to just go by the wayside. So that's just basically my question. How do we reawaken our dreams?
Well, this is a reawakening of this show, and I see our numbers at 102. And it makes no sense with the amount of talent that is on these couches actually taking the time out to talk to you guys. Please share this live. The one thing that we don't do ever in our community, we don't ever support our own. So here's a platform to open up the discussion for everybody to be a part. And all we ask that you do, just share the live. We want more viewers just like you're watching. If this was you, you would want a lot of viewers as well. Because this is not necessarily our job, but this is our passion that we have for our community. So if you care about what we're doing and you want to see more of this, please share the live.
Can I say something?
Sure, I'm sorry.
In regards to the number situation, I understand that sometimes when you see a show that's not geared towards mess, I mean, if you come for the BS, and you living for the mess, then maybe it's hard to want to follow because you're seeing people trying to do something positive. I mean, there will be some disagreements, I'm sure, but I don't think there will ever be any mess. But even though there's not going to be any mess, still be willing to support. Sometimes clean mess and good mess is always the best mess.
And then a lot of times it's education. It's very educational, but okay, back to it. I'm sorry.
Jasmine, to me, is the perfect one to kick that off because she is one that has gone back and done and followed a lot of the dreams that she set aside at one point. So what reawakened you?
Live. Live. You come to a point in your time when you want to live the best life.
Right.
Not the baddest life or the cookingest life or the inspirational life, but the best life. And when I had got to that point, I wanted to educate myself. I wanted to better myself. I wanted to be everything that everybody thought I ever could be. And getting my cosmetology license was one of the things that was all that was.
Okay.
See, that's what real
Was it fulfilling for you to go back to school and obtain that?
It was very hard. Girl, they gave me voice marks.
Why would they give you voice marks?
Oh, honey.
It's another conversation.
Yeah, it's another show. But all of that was a journey that I had to go through. It taught me more humility. I thought I had a lot of humility, but it taught me even more humility. And at the end of that, I shouted going to get my diploma. I mean, I had on a cute shoe, and I shouted in my room going to get my diploma. So that's what reawaken me, life reawakened me.
It was
And
like-
if you allow life to reawaken you, you will.
But that was deep. You know, I can say the same thing. Like, once I really got tired of performing, I had to search deep to see what else I was talented in. And the one thing that I've loved and I've always had a passion for, regardless of how the community did me, I've always had a passion for the community and what it could be. So I'm never going to try to stop improving the community, not for me. People fail to realize if we hadn't had the experience that we had prior to the names being who they are, we wouldn't be here today. You know, we've had some really rough times, but we've had some amazing moments. You know, I sit up and I listen to my son talk about when he saw me compete in national. And even though that was an experience for me, it was also an experience for him. You know, so my passion is to still bring the best out of this community that it has to offer. Because I know for me, you know, I had a part in playing with Jasmine becoming Jasmine, a lot of other people, and she has as well. So, you know, we were never people to try to hold onto our gifts. We've always tried to share them, and we want your road to be easier than ours. So that's just, I mean, like, I don't know how to awaken no one else's dream, but support.
You can't awaken anyone else.
I think the way that you can awaken your dream is to make sure that you're really passionate about it. A lot of people get into certain situations because of the fame of it or something else that is like not even like a true love. I know for me personally, I always wanted to be in the entertainment field. I knew that.
Stop. So, well, no. Now, if it stopped, we need to restart.
Are you still taping?
Yeah.
I need that tomorrow.
You go. No.
YouTube is still going.
Yeah, YouTube is still going. YouTube, we're still here. We're having technical difficulties with Facebook, so we have to restart Facebook. Once we restart Facebook, we're going to resume. We're not going anywhere. Y'all need to go anywhere? We need to do anything? I'm good. Hold that thought. Let's try to fix this right quick. Is Saria?
She might be.
Go check. I mean,
You
you
wanna talk?
check.
Okay.
Facebook, we still here. The conversation still going to go
So
on.
we're not on Facebook right now?
No, we're not on Facebook. It's he
Yeah,
got to type all
because
this
the
stuff.
video ended.
Can you get it, or you need me to come and get it?
It's batteries. If I'm gonna pull back up Facebook, I'm gonna have to pull it up on mine.
Well, no.
Well,
Pull it up on the
taking
phone.
this
Pull it up on the
time,
phone.
that way
Give me
you
the
can
pad and
I
give me.
think Jasmine took it.
Yeah, she went to the door too. Well, we can pull it up on the phone. I'd rather you use the phone, and then just.
Yeah, we will get into it.
Oh, yeah.
That's why it has to be charged to the max because.
You don't have a receipt now. 'Cause
Oop, there go my phone.
your phone done died. What do you have?
Samsung.
But it's an actor.
Huh?
It's an actor. Can you use my charger?
What you doing?
Come in,
Come in.
come in.
Entree Gould.
It's a one of these things.
Yep.
I'm gonna use your phone.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Give it to you. I'm just gonna type. Who that?
You want to pause it all together?
My Ryan.
Come on. I thought one was coming to get you.
This
He can come in if he
I don't even see him.
Huh?
I don't even see him.
Oh, you don't see him? He been out there? Yeah. Oh, Jay, why you didn't tell me? I didn't want to. It's okay.
We still on YouTube.
I got two of them around there. What? You gotta go ahead. Cyril there?
We still live on YouTube.
You good, Cyril? Yeah, we're gonna pull this together right quick. I'm just gonna
That
put
way
what's
you can
possible.
pull that up while we waiting, or no?
Is what?
You can't do it then?
What?
Pull that.
No, I know how to make it. We really don't need it close. You good, Cyril, like that? You good?
Hi, baby.
How you doing? Hold on, we're gonna get ready to start again. What's poppin'?
How's everybody feeling?
Fine. Something easy.
Hi, on the road. Straight
You
out the
good?
road.
Mm.
It's so good to see everybody.
You got your phone, Cyril?
Yes.
Okay.
Man, you got the phone?
You're gonna need to be by JB because that's the only spot that we looking at the thing will be visible.
Okay.
You got a pad, grab a pad. Your question is what?
Which one did you choose that you want off of your phone?
Okay, here. I'm sorry. I ain't gonna have I'm not gonna be able to watch the show, guys. Yeah, so we have to, hey, how you doing? You wanna come in and sit down? You can
That's
come
my
right,
son.
come on right on in, move something over there, boo, get on in here. You ain't gotta
How
stand
you
there.
doing? That's my son, Jermaine.
If it's hot, let me know.
Okay, hey.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and then turn around.
Thanks, babes.
You need a pen?
Got it.
Get it.
Okay.
Kobe now?
Yeah.
Okay. Jay gonna have to move over, slide on down, y'all. I'm sorry, we're gonna try to, well, the phone might do better. You gotta get it up there. You gotta get it secure up there. Let me show you.
Where's this thing? Oh, Chris, my phone.
Which way? See if that got everybody. That should be better. I can't see it, y'all, so I won't, I'll be in the blind. Huh? No, I'm saying I won't because of my phone. If I just pad just died. So I don't have phone to keep up with the conversation. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
I mean, Doreen, Christopher.
Yeah. We haven't started. Have you started
Or
yet?
you wanna give her your phone?
Wait, no, okay, wait, no, stop it. Close that door. Do we need to turn the air on or y'all good?
I'm good. I'm on age.
We have to type all this stuff. That's why this did part two.
So it needs to be reshared, right?
Yeah, once we come back on, once he come back up, I'll show you. Just come out here.
Yes, yeah, cookie.
Yes, cookie.
He's Chandela.
Yes, that's a yellow iPhone.
Y'all about an iPhone?
Yes,
Y'all
Lord, I got
y'all
cookie
got- y'all
Yes,
got cookie took your iPhone. She talking about send me donations.
Going back
You
live.
just Have bought this whole iPhone.
Yes, Lord.
It's starting.
The entertainment.
You're
The
back.
entertainment.
Yes, we said they don't send her enough money for her to have an iPhone
And
at
have
Apple
a
House.
Yeah.
Hold on, we take.
Jesus.
We gonna take.
Lord, thank you.
I'm just saying. And look, and
Priorities.
look at me.
Priorities.
No, look, and
Priorities.
me is looking like.
They run the iPhone. We gotta get us some damn help.
Well, we thought that's what the jail did.
Is that, you got everybody in there?
Yep, we're back.
All right. We are. We have 17, 20. You started it wrong. Stop it. Because you started it tilted. You have to start it
Oh,
here.
I
Stop it.
can't.
Stop
It's stopping.
They brought her iPhone.
Your nerves are animal.
it. It has to be done. It has to start from the side. You can't do it. You have to start it from the side.
That just
Gotcha.
that shows you what people are.
So just put, let's pop
But
up
it
with
just
part
went
two.
back to what you just said about mess. People like mess.
People love mess.
And really?
They do.
Yeah, Andy, y'all. Let me get this.
They love mess. If it's
They
mess,
support, yeah.
If
They
it's
support
mess,
foolishness.
it
That's
It's mass foolishness,
It is.
degradation, tearing down. Oh yeah, y'all for it. I refuse.
I said, oh, and she got an iPhone. I don't have an iPhone, too. But I worked at 3 jobs.
And don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I can't. It ain't in my budget.
But don't get me wrong. I could
that's
easily
what
go and
you
get
said.
one.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, that I'm going with her. That ain't even that important. Like for me, this
Well, our
one,
business,
baby, I'm good with this. I'm good with what I got. But I said, okay,
that's an iPhone.
Yeah, look at it. You don't need it.
Yeah.
That's what they
The
do.
screen cracked.
That's fine.
yeah, I'm good on this S Active 8. I'm gonna stick with this. And
That's
mind you-
right.
No, but mind you,
Is it probably
this is the
critical?
third one.
Probably-
This because the first two kept heating up, so I done sent them back and I had to do insurance claim. So this is the third new phone that I've had only a week, and she heats up like the microwave.
I hate
So
new
when I
phones.
get back to AT&T, oh Samsung, y'all gonna have to buy me send me another phone. They don't make this is the highest phone in this series. Now they just came out with the Samsung 9 and 9 Plus, I think. I don't know what it
Plus
is.
is sickening.
I don't know what them. Just send me a phone that won't heat up. Let's just try that. And I thought that it was a refurbished phone, and these ain't refurbished. Well, why y'all keep heating up?
Start right.
Like it gets so hot to the touch, Jasmine, like it burns my hand. Yeah, this is the third one.
Is that the right camera you need?
Yeah, right. So
People,
that,
You need that way?
yeah. So I'm going back to The insurance claim,
Them things can explode.
the insurance claim has sent me too, so now me and Samsung finna go around through AT&T. Oh, as soon as I get home tomorrow, as soon as I get my nails done, I'm punching it into AT&T. Let's set the whole place
When it
off.
comes to recording and stuff,
And it's not,
can't be looking
and
at
it's not the
it.
AT&T employees, because they've been amazing. But me and Samsung, oh yeah, we finna have it.
Can you see?
Yeah, me and Samsung are
Yeah,
going
but
left.
something's in
And
the
my
way of the
producer, they
camera.
had called me and asked me about, well, we know you got a new phone, we'd like you to take a survey. No, you don't want me to take a survey, because you bitches actually, blew me off and made me get this insurance claim when you could have just sent me a new phone. So I done had to pay $112 deductible fucking with you. No. No, so, so the lady's like, well, what do you want me to do now? Not a damn thing other than get off my phone. You didn't do it, your company did, this thing. I'm like, what? Girl, when I tell you, I
Where's the
had,
camera? Can you see
and
all of us?
before I
Or
knew it,
still
I
need
was
to
trying
go
to be
both?
real white like that.
I got all of it.
But
You
when
got
she
all of
said,
us
well,
already?
what do you want me to do now?
Look,
What did you just say to me?
Okay, survey?
Damn.
Oh, okay. Let
this
me
is
give you
part of
what
the
it's called.
stand, but I know, that's
Because
why.
clearly,
You done lost it.
and I'm happy you find it. And you're gonna find it today. I got you, Toots. But it had really rattled my
What about
cage
now?
that people in customer service would be so callous and be like, oh, what you
Oh, yeah, you
gonna
got
say?
all of us.
Comments?
Just
hit the, let me get back over there and cover up, hit the start.
Well, come on, hit the star. Tell me where we at. We back? We popping?
Oh,
Yeah, we about to be
We
positive.
still gonna be fine, cause who question is this? Who question?
We're on the.
Chris was on,
Maybe-
Chris was on.
Are we good?
Yeah, because I'm ready to wake
Is
in
this
my
out?
dreams.
Hey, you remember your thing?
I'm ready to wake in my dreams.
Hold on, let me see.
Let's awake.
We there, are we on? Are we up?
Yep.
Okay, let me see, man, that's not us.
No, you do what you need to do.
Wait till you do what you need to do.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you two, we sorry, we coming.
Because I don't use up on it, I don't let it turn.
Oh,
You like
YouTube been
left
on all that time?
You ain't got to.
Hey, YouTube. Shout
Yeah.
out to YouTube.
So,
Hi, YouTube and stuff.
okay, so it did something completely.
General shut the fan,
They can't shut us down.
No, we just-
We
y'all
haven't
gotta-
said anything offensive. We have not done anything wrong. We're nice people.
Very much so.
We're gonna say our
Okay,
things.
y'all, we're gonna have to go with this right now, I'm sorry.
What are we going with?
But it's sideways.
It did, yeah, it didn't,
It didn't convert.
It didn't convert, y'all.
Tilt your head sideways. It might be
Yeah,
pretty.
I don't know how y'all gonna do this. I'm
Take-
sorry.
What?
Okay, we're gonna go on with our conversation. We're back. I wanted to add to the group, everyone, this is Cyria Sinclair. She
Hi.
finally made it off of the road.
Yes,
Yes,
I made it. Yay!
And
Safe
please,
and
we're
sound.
sorry. Continue to share the live. Continue to share the live.
If you're on your phone, turn your rotation off and just turn it off to the side.
And,
just-
and work with us.
we are so sorry, but we will have this worked out. next
Cyria done
Monday.
knocked us off our feet. She done showed up.
She
got us-
Show up and
From
show
Louisiana.
out.
From Louisiana.
So,
Yes.
sorry about the distraction. If you're still watching, please share the live. Let everybody know we are here still, so we can come on back. We were in the midst of Mimi's topic. I don't have my clipboard because I got my prayer
Yes,
card
you do.
over my.
Yes, you
Okay.
Come on, Brooklyn.
And I'm
Yeah.
ready.
Sorry, everybody. Hey, Eric. I'm sorry that we're tilted. Oh, Mendoza, go again if you don't mind.
I'll reread it. How do we reawaken our dreams, goals, and aspirations we have allowed to die? And Chris was
In the midst of
responding.
this, and then I was ready.
Right. Basically what I was saying, you just have to have true passion for it and in it for the right reasons, because you personally love whatever it is that goal that you're trying to achieve. And I was saying, as far as I was concerned, growing up, I always wanted to be an entertainer. I knew that. I didn't care what aspect. It could be dancing, it could have been singing, it could have been a musician, it could have been a songwriter. I just knew actor, whatever. I knew that I was, I dabbed in everything, musical theater, band. And what happened was when it, kind of like transferred over to this lifestyle, I knew that I wanted to be on stage as well. So, but I wanted to do it for the love of the art, the craft, or whatever you want to call it. Not for fame, not for everybody to think that, oh, you were sick then. And I think that's where the longevity for me came into place, and I wasn't seasonal, because people kind of enjoyed me off stage as just being a regular person, even though that on stage you create this persona like you know, you can't be touched or whatever the case may be. I think that's where goals can be awakened, reawakened, or achieved. And also, the older that you get, because one thing that Mimi was saying that as you get older, you feel like it's too late. I don't think it's ever too late. I think sometimes that it transitions. And for those of you that didn't hear what my mother said and what Jasmine said, it was it started to become where not kind of living vicariously through the new generation and making sure that the love that you had to be on stage, you still some kind of way was still contributing to the same dream, as far as maybe living vicariously or maybe making sure that it doesn't die or whatever the case may be. And that's where Jasmine's situation is the same as mine. I don't really have the desire to run for pageants or do shows as much. I like creating it now. So I like the choreography. So now I'm actually doing things as far as a tour, an actual tour that's like, you know, not just based on like the LGBT community, but just as a whole. I'm actually making money and stuff like that. It's like, I like to see my creations come to life, and that's like a transition, but I'm still in the game, just on a different aspect. And I think that when you get older, certain things don't matter as much, but you still might be in the same, you know, business of achieving your goal. And, you know, that's just how I think.
I definitely concur with that, but I also have to say, when you say reawaken, I think you have to do self-assessment. You have to assess where you are in your life and be realistic with yourself. Let's be honest, in your life, when you think about, say, if you got a list of goals, have I achieved these things? Have I worked at these things? How have I made these things manifest? I'll use myself, for example. I got my cosmetology license when I was 18 years old. I had my license before I had my high school diploma. At that point in my life, I wanted to do hair and makeup, and I really wanted to do makeup. I didn't want to do hair, but as a gay feminine young boy living in Columbia, South Carolina, they would let me work in a salon, but they wouldn't let me on the floor as a makeup artist. I was an androgynous little boy, a head full of hair, long nails, but I was good at what I did. But they would be like, "Oh, you're great in the salon, but we really don't have males on the floor." And at that time in the 80s and early 90s, there weren't a lot of males on the floor where I was. I also had, like Chris said, a desire to be an entertainer. I saw my first drag show. I really wanted to be a dancer. I wasn't built to be a dancer. I'm 5'6". I was short-limbed, short-waisted. Every little gay black boy that saw Fame wanted to be Leroy, and I wanted to be Leroy on Fame too, bitch. I wanted to leap, I wanted to kick, I wanted to split, I wanted to be Leroy. You know, I love dance. I took, like you, I took theater, I took dance classes, I did all this because I wanted to be a dancer. My mother gave me a wake-up call. She said, "Baby, I love you, but you might want to rethink your career choice because they don't make dancers built like you." I said, "Oh, okay." So cosmetology was the backup plan. Well, I saw my first drag show at about 15. I stepped into the gay club, and I saw this girl that was about my height. She was a little thinner than me, and at that time, girls weren't dancing in boots, they were dancing in pumps. And I had a full 5-inch pump and was cutting backflips across the stage. I said, "Oh, mother, oh, you're wrong. They make dancers like me. Now I'm gonna have to do some stuff to do it, but I'm gonna dance." And I did. My mother was my biggest and my worst cheerleader. At first she said, "No, you're not gonna be successful." And then I became successful.
I don't want to cut you off, but I don't want to forget what I'm about
You
to
cut
say.
off.
I did.
No,
I'm sorry.
sorry.
But no, when I say reawaken dreams and how do we do this, and I asked the question because, you know, I have a lot of gay kids. I don't refer to my babies as gay kids, but I have a lot of kids. And I support them as best I can in all what they do. And one of my kids graduated college about 2-3 years ago. Maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And when I attended his college graduation, I was inspired by one of my own kids.
Yes.
And it was touching, and it was beautiful. But I said, how do you awaken dreams? I guess I should say, how do we not allow those dreams to die? Sometimes you have to be willing to realign yourself with people who see it for you. You have to readjust your surrounding past so that you can propel yourself forward. Because over time, sometimes people say what you can't do, but nobody won't be too invested in what you can do. A lot of people may think that it's too hard, it's too complicated, you don't have time for it. Those are the people you have to be willing to say, I see you later.
And you're
That's
not
what you have
wrong.
to be willing to
And
do.
you're not wrong.
I wanted
Yeah,
to
you
speak
have to be willing
I
to
wanted to
get rid of
speak
people.
on that,
Come on.
because like awakening, it depends on when you fell asleep.
Mm.
And
on.
that's when you said assessment, that really made me think about when you fell asleep, whenever it fell off, whenever the thoughts fell off, you know, initially what drew you to it should draw you back to it, your interest. But when you fell off or when you went to sleep and you woke up and said, well, this is what I want. Now it's about navigation. And then that's when it's coming to fruition about building that cast or changing the cast of individuals that's around you to be able to foresee what you foresee for yourself in your future.
Right.
There were so many things that I thought I had to do to get to where I'm at today. And I'm stating this from the I factor, because speaking in I statement, because I remember I felt like I had to do this to get an approval from this person to be able to get to the next level, to be able to get to where I am today. And I didn't see it that it was no real navigation, or that navigation was the wrong navigation. I was really going way out my way to get to my destination.
Okay.
And now that I'm here as an advocate, as a person who fights and works with policy, prevention, education, and been certified with the CDC with a lot of different interventions, I remember one interventionist artist used like short-term goals to get to long-term goals. And it's a 6-week process. Every week you make a goal to get to your final goal, which you give yourself like 6 months. Within 6 months, I want to acquire this. So within 6 months, every week, you plan something and achieve that one thing, which is leading to the larger thing at the end of the 6 months. It's about preparation. It's about the willpower and not being deteriorated or deferred from what you consider your dream.
You know what, I want to say this, Niecy, and I hope you don't get mad at me for saying this.
No.
I think I've told you this via Facebook. I remember when you first came onto the scene, like years ago,
Yes.
Wilkendale days. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember, you know, I'm a little older, and I remember seeing you, and I knew how you were living. I'm not gonna go deep into all of that. And I know from whence you came, and I have seen you come to where you are at. The process has been awesome, and I've told you I was proud of you many times before, because I know where you came from, and I know where you are at, and I know there's so much more you have to give. So whatever you are bottling up for yourself, give it to the other kids so that they can take a little bit of it and propel themselves.
That's what I've been trying to do. I just had a training on Saturday, and it's called Being the Change. That's my new mode. That's my new movement. We all come with these. A lot of people come with a whole lot of problems.
Right.
They say this is wrong with the community. This is wrong with that community. This is wrong with this community. But at the same token, do you have any solutions for what you have caused or what you call a problem? If it's problematic, come to the table with a solution for what you think is problematic. And then therefore you will build with people like Tanisha has called us together to say, these are the topics we want to talk about. Let's hash this out. Let's get the community involved and see how we can make it better.
Very good.
Okay? Community, I know you're still out there. Unfortunately, the iPad that we were using had died, so I had to use my phone from Facebook to bring this to you guys on Facebook. So, do you have any questions or any concerns? And please continue. I understand we fell off, but please continue to share the live. Let's try to get the audience back. But do you have any questions before we move off of this topic? We're waiting on you guys. So let me ask this. Is there a procedure for as helping someone get their dream back on track? Or, and keep in mind what I'm saying. I'm not asking for us to take someone's hand and, you know, break. I'm not saying that. But are you receptive of someone reaching out to you for assistance? Just because, let me explain to what you just did. you broke stuff down and to the common denominator form aspect. So people can understand really how to relate to get back on track to achieving that goal.
Exactly.
So if someone reaches out to you and asks you, because we make ourselves accessible all the time, but if someone reaches out to you, would you be willing, or is that something that we need to put like a 5-step, because our panel, the panel is about, like you said, about the change itself.
Of course.
You know, we're being the change that we want to see.
Exactly.
So is it something, is it a bad thing if we put together I don't know, because you rattled off about 6 points. Not necessarily, but a kind of cheat sheet for us to assess your life to actually get back on track. How many did I couldn't really see, because you know, maybe my sister over here, you know, we do hair. But it's okay. So we heard you. So I didn't know how many you rattled off per se, but do you think that's a bad thing? No, you're fine.
No, it's not. No, it's not a bad thing because everyone
Or do
needs
you think
to.
that's a bad thing?
We all
To
need
put
to.
together some
Like,
type
you
of-
know, like I said, I learned this. This was taught to me in Chicago, and I took it upon myself to implement into my everyday life because it's a really good tool to utilize to make short-term goals. I need to get this done. If you know you got a gown, and I'm gonna just say put this in pageant terms because we all understand pageant terms for real, for real. If you know you got a $5,000 gown, you can look Gustavo. So you go with Gustavo. You saved up $1,500. You have a pageant in 8 months. He needs the gowns to be paid for in 6 months. You sit there and you document when you get paid, how you're going to assess, how much money you're going to put to the side, and make deposits and make payments towards
Or a fundraiser.
a
or whatever you
fundraiser,
have to do.
whatever you orchestrate to get the
Yes,
funding
I get
together
what
to
you're
purchase this one item that you really want. So, it's, you know, you break it down in that aspect to make small-term goals to your larger goal.
The picture is sideways because when we started the conversation trying to get back to you guys, we did not secure the proper angle with the words, so we kind of like messed up right now. But we're actually, and you can always go to YouTube and see it correctly. Oh, well, I can't even go to YouTube. YouTube, Tamishi Iman. If you go to my page, there's a link there. You can just click it, and we're actually live on YouTube as well. So we're gonna close out that topic, being that no one had anything to say. Cyril, someone said our trans community. Okay, so I didn't know if you had saw that.
I
What
did.
they say?
Andrew,
community is-
thank you, Andrew. Unfortunately, all communities are still divided. And they could be divided by economics, they could be classism. I'm sorry.
What's divided about the
No, in a sense, I understand.
Andrew, the reason why he put that, Andrew's been going through some things,
a trans man or trans woman?
trans man.
Okay.
He's been going through some things, cause you
Oh,
know,
okay.
I follow everybody, I'm nosy like that, so, you know, and I'm concerned, you know, whatever. He's been going through a lot of things to where, he's been trying to get accepted, and I think if we can talk about the race topic for just a second, just for him, because
Okay.
only because he
You got 2 minutes. Go ahead.
I think he needs a proper way of going about it, because when you're talking about, and I'm not saying that he's forcing.
I'm saying, what has happened? Can we get some input?
It's a lot of things I don't know and a lot of things I do know. Only because of the subliminal messages through. I think that he's been going through a lot in his surroundings to where he's not accepted, and he's trying to find it from somewhere really.
Okay, let's be fair about this thing.
Versus finding it in himself.
Let's be fair about this. So
I
Andrew,
think
what you can do is you can submit your question or concern, and we'll address it on next Monday.
Yeah,
To be clear.
yeah, but
So do we totally understand?
the division, because there is a lot of division. There's
What
a lot,
is
you
the
know,
division?
well,
Somebody
okay,
please tell me.
that's
Yeah,
almost
I'm
like,
not-
it's like either classism or cliques or who people that you feel
What
most
does that
comfortable with,
What-
and with
I
sharing
just
with,
said
that
all
you share,
this.
commonality with, you know, those are the
just
things,
said
those
that.
are the people that you draw, that draws to you, or that you draw from, or the energy that you draw from. Like, there's a lot, like, okay, we're gonna break it down to the least common denominator. There's a lot of girls who are commercial sex workers who unfortunately are not keen to me working, or we don't have really common interests. So therefore we may see each other, say hi and bye, but at the same token, they're not gonna invite me to their house or their birthday parties or get real sociable and get personal with me. And it may only be perceived from what they see or what they have thought of what they are. And that's what the division is. Because if you don't understand me or don't know me, and or don't want to understand and know how I live, then therefore you may set yourself aside or ostracize yourself. And then when you don't, if I come into your setting and you make me feel uncomfortable, then therefore I'm going to ostracize and isolate myself because I don't feel, even though you understand I'm trans, but we both know that we're trans, you made me feel uncomfortable in a setting that I should not have been, and that happens in a lot of gay bars. When a lot of trans women go to the gay bars, we feel very uncomfortable at times. If you're not the it girl, or
If you're not the what?
the it girl, they will look at you and be like, "Well, girl, what you doing here?"
And going back on the sex worker part, this is the part I just had a conversation with one of my
Girl,
best
y'all just
girlfriends.
dodged the bullet.
I just don't dodge the bullet. I just don't.
No,
It is,
you
Jazz.
didn't.
Come on, Jazz, don't dodge the bullet.
I mean, if you don't,
I will comment on the next.
Come on, Jazz.
No, Jazz.
Come
Because
on
this
in.
is the thing, when she said the thing about sex workers, this is the thing, and I just said this to my best girlfriend. One of the biggest separatisms that I see within the gay community. They will read the sex worker, read the escort, but you celebrate the stunt queen who steals people's identity. How dare you? And we do that in our community, Miss Thing. They read the prostitute, they read the escort, because she's a sex worker, she sells her ass, but it's okay to go steal someone's identity to glorify you and make
Well,
you
you
see
shouldn't
so
be
that
selling
is
your ass
separatism.
and you shouldn't be stealing people's
But they
identity.
do, and that's the separatism that I'm speaking of, Mendoza.
Yeah.
So don't tell me you don't see it.
If
Shit now.
I would rather not be around people.
Okay.
So if that makes me a divisive person.
No, that's your personal choice, but you don't speak out against it.
I've been
either,
in
though.
somebody's house and they was turning tricks while I was in their house. I left their house, went sit outside. I said, look, I'm out there killed. I don't know.
Don't put my business out.
I'm like, I left the house. So if that's what you want to do what you want to do, but don't do it with me.
But so long story short, you have just understood the separatism that she and I are speaking of. Because like I said, and I've seen this all of my life. This is before the girls became on the internet, before there was the Eros and all that. If you walked the streets, you wasn't winning nobody's fashions because you was a prostitute.
At all,
But the stunt queen could go steal and write checks and drape.
So your problem is with the promoters.
No, my problem is with the people that separate us, the community.
Yeah, the
because the
community
Bush Queens would say, oh girl, she's a prostitute. Yeah, but Miss Singh, you just went and stole Miss Singh's ID and you just went and wrote checks. How dare you?
But you know, a lot of the Bush Queens be on the sites.
I don't know why with that, but you still are not understanding that is the separatism.
Okay, but now he's
They call it escort, not a lead.
It's still prostitution. And that's shit
They call it
now.
escort.
Well, that's what
In
it
the
is.
house, back house, whatever. So what's the problem?
Well, the problem is, the problem is, Sabrina, the problem is we walk the streets, we the prostitute, but you the sun queen and you right. No, I didn't walk the street, but don't steal my sister. Whether they walk them will steal my sister.
Exactly.
You don't know what they had to do. You don't know what they had to do. You don't know why they walking the street. You don't know if they're taking care of their mama or if they're taking care of their little brother. You don't know why a girl is walking the street, but I didn't ask you why you was stealing and writing checks. I didn't ask you about that. Miss Thing.
Hello, somebody.
Shit now.
Are you there? Caller, are you there?
All
I
right,
did, yeah, because
Yes.
I experienced that. I know it. I'm not speaking for what I've heard. I'm speaking for what I've said to my sister.
Okay.
Andrew.
Okay, excuse me, I gotta get the prayer cloth. I'm gonna throw it on you, sister. You all right? You all right, sister? Come back to it. Come back to it.
Just delete my topic because that's.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not.
No, we need your topic because your topic is really get it wrong.
Okay, so
That is true. I love you, man.
okay, so that's that on the second topic. Like I explained to you guys,
And I love
we're
you.
coming hot and heated,
That's
and
okay. You
we
was
really
the
love.
lady of the night.
I never was,
Oh,
but
I
I've been the ones that did.
Oh.
Just hey,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Go. Just talk
Yes.
to me.
Talk to me.
Okay.
That's what you get for being all the way in the back.
I can this though.
They almost shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
All you see is black. You see the pair of muscle with. That's it on the side.
Okay, so right now before we go to our next topic, I want to give the floor to Jasmine Bonet because Jasmine has something she wants to convey to you guys. So that was why it was very important that you shared the live because I want to get her message out to the people that she's trying to reach. Jasmine, go ahead.
Hey guys, I'm turning 50 years old this year. And I am going to have the biggest 50th celebration I know how to give today. I'm going to be having people that come through my life, has helped me on both sides of my journey. I want to combine with something like separation. I want to combine the people that I grew up with and the people that grew me up. Those people need to come together in one setting. So I'm having a fashion show. I'm doing through song and material and fashion. So guys, please come out, be a part of that. It's going to be November the 24th. It's a Saturday, it's Thanksgiving weekend. I will be 50
Yeah, so
on
We have enough time to promote it. We have
on
enough time to
Thanksgiving
promote it.
Day. So I'll be with my family.
Come on, fam.
And Jack, come out and be a part of that. If you love me, come out and be a part of my 50. Thank you,
Amen.
Tanisha.
Amen. No problem. No problem. Okay, as you see, our conversation get heated, and I know these two ladies gonna block me in on this one, but it's all right. I'm here, y'all. Just remember, I'm here and I'm in the back. If you see my hand going, just stop the conversation.
Yeah, and if I go to sleep, y'all just gotta nudge me. I had to take 2 Salus pills because Tanisha got dogs.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot.
Oh, I can't do that.
Okay, so
What you keep doing?
we on a time schedule. We on.
I'm allergic to all cats and dogs.
Okay, so we're gonna move into our next topic of conversation. This is gonna come from Christopher Iman Johnson Phillips Ross. Brooks.
Okay, so I guess we're gonna go back to pageantry. And the question is, talent versus fashion, which is more important? The reason why I posed that question, when I first started out, well, not when I first started out, I didn't want to do pageants, but when I was introduced to pageantry, a lot of pageants, it didn't matter how many categories was in the contest, talent was 50%. And the rest was, if it was 4 other categories, then that was, however you want, 20%, however, you know. But as times have changed, everything is pretty much equal, and there's more closed categories to where talent, you know, you can kind of skim by the talent aspect. Now, there are a lot of pageants that talent is still weighed the same, but talent is viewed a little different now. And I just wanted to know, like, I know that they definitely do go in hand, but if there was a choice, is talent still most important, or is it weighed pretty much equally?
Okay.
Kick it off.
I'm gonna keep.
Kick it.
Here comes the field goal.
And what I mean by talent as well, not necessarily the category, but I also noticed that a lot of people, if they look good and they get on stage and they don't even have the stage presence to even model
I'm
it.
about to hit all of this. I'm about to hit all of
please,
this.
because
That's what I mean by the natural essence of, you know, commanding the stage.
Jesus.
Let's tag team on this. Come on.
So, I've been entertaining now 20 years. 20 years, I've always been instilled, it's always been instilled into me about entertainment value. Your value comes from your presence on stage, the song selection that you chose, because that what makes you become talented, because you're able to convey the message through song and bring that song to life. There's a lot of different things that
Don't forget to add in your look and your
wait, the look is a complete look from
During
head
the
to
talent.
toe during the talent.
Yeah.
If you're going to give an illusion, give the whole illusion. Don't sit there and have buttocks. This is PG? This PG-13?
Buttocks is fine.
Oh, buttocks is fine? Okay. Don't have buttocks. You know, the image, and think you're still going to get the, you know, the points. Because at one point in time, we had that whole about personality, entertainment value, you know, appearance, head to toe, all of those things. And I think, for me, talent is very, it's intricate. It can't be taught. It's about talent. Your talent as an individual, as a entertainer, because you're to entertain, not the people around you, not the dancers, not the props. It's about you as an entertainer. Are you able to be a one-man, one-woman show?
Bingo.
That's exactly what, talent was, and to me, it still is. I still judge in that fashion.
Can I ask a question though?
Yes, ma'am.
When you say talent, talent is very important, but when you have people that does talents, what do you consider talent? Because I don't think it's fair that sometimes people can get up there and sing a song, and they stand up there and sing a song and be maybe a little off key, maybe not off key, and you have somebody who may come through and dance the house down, and they who sung a song standing still can win talent. So exactly what talent, and then you have people that can do this, and maybe they do stand up comedy half naked.
Okay,
Is that talent?
So it's all talent. That's a different subject about what you should consider more talented. That's not really what I'm saying. I'm just saying as far as when it comes to fashion. It seems like it supersedes. Now, Akasha, you said disagree. It now more about fashion than talent. I don't know if you're saying that it's more about fashion. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying too that it seems like it's more about fashion now than it is the actual talent. It's about. Well, the only reason why I say that is because the categories now in a lot of pageants are geared towards
The fashion.
to where it's equal. And you can have 5 categories. Presentation could be more than likely a fashion presentation. You have formal wear, you have sportswear. Right there, if everything's 1 through 10, and you're fashionable, you can do just know the words to a gospel song without even having to emote the feelings.
Not what I'm gonna do.
But I mean that's just my personal opinion. But at the end. In retrospect, I always hear about, it's very important that you're talented first, because at the end of the day, like when you're talking about productions, you can't take those people with you on the road for a year. You can't do this, you can't do that.
That's why you have to be a one man,
so what happens after you win, if you happen to win, if you happen to win as a fashionable person, what happens throughout the year? Do you get
your entertainment value drops. Your value drops. I'm saying your value
You can
drops.
say what you want, but that crown Miss Thing, and she did it all year long. Mama didn't even really do no drag, so
She sang all year.
I think
She sang all year.
She did sing all year. And then she went on tour with Absolute Vodka with the traveling drag queen singing live. Made millions, hundreds of thousands of dollars. For
So
sure.
whether you said it or one sit all year, that's subjective.
So yeah, and I'm not saying, because
If it's not
to me
good,
it's
though.
all talent.
No, I'm
So
not
I
sure
don't
that's
want to
If
say,
it's not good,
okay,
I'm not
if
gonna
singing is less, and if somebody plays, because to me I appreciate
All
all talented
talent.
artists.
I do
So if
too.
somebody comes with a violin and you don't even like hearing the violin, but
But they
somebody
wore it
actually wears it out. Prime example, the newcomer king, Mr. Renaissance. When I tell you that saxophone,
He played sax. Yeah, that boy is now Pharaoh.
yeah.
Pharaoh
So,
is
Pharaoh.
amazing.
So
Pharaoh
it's
is
like-
amazing.
And
Martina
some
did
people
too.
might not like this, some
What's
people
the
might not
girlfriend
like that.
about-
It's really not about that. I was just trying to
Jacqueline.
determine.
Jacqueline Devereaux, he's playing the xylophone.
Right, determine the two. Like,
Yeah.
is it? I would honestly say I know that it works hand in hand.
Thank you.
It's I know for a
That's
fact.
where I disagree.
But
Because pretty
no,
clothes don't make you talented.
No,
And
no,
I
no,
mean, you
no,
can
no,
do
no,
it
no,
in
no,
pretty
no,
clothes.
in
You
every
got
category,
pretty clothes all year, but you have no talent.
It
So
works-
you're
it
just
works-
talentless with pretty clothes.
It works.
Oh,
works.
okay.
No,
Let me know how that
I'm
works
saying it works hand in hand, because you can't have a dirty tank top and a pair of Daisy Duke shorts that smell like ass. And you're flipping around the stage. So I know that it works. I know that it works hand in hand. But at the end of the day, can you be talentless and still?
I disagree. I'm
I'm
having to go
trying
back
to,
with.
okay, this is
I'm
what
going
I'm
back
trying to
with Cyrene.
understand. I'm trying to understand, what is the disagreement and what is the agreement?
Okay, the
You said-
disagreement
okay.
is the talent value. It seems to us, Doreen and I, it's more important
To be talented.
to be talented than
Than
to
some
be
pretty clothes.
fashionable. Now, I've learned to be clean and consistent in clothing, and that has not been like, I've always had the Gustavo Gusto, I've always had a Coco
J.D.
Vega,
Martin.
J.D. Martin, but I've been clean and consistent in the clothing categories to where I've got an 8 and a 9, but their talent and their question response that shot me over the moon.
And,
Look at the stuff effect, and that's even with the categories being
equally.
But talent to me, I put more emphasis on because that's who I am. I'm an entertainer. And I came here to entertain. Now, my clothes is gonna be cute. It's gonna be from head to toe.
And I'm with you there. And for me, I have to go back to you saying a one-woman show, and this is where the disagreement comes in because again, you were good that night. You had on the most beautiful clothes, and you were good that night. But all year long, you were absolutely horrible. You couldn't entertain out of a paper bag. You did enough to win that night. But you got the rain all year, and you have been the fool. When you come on stage, the people go have a bathroom break. They go have a bathroom break, a drink break, a hookup break, or whatever. Because when you go to entertain, all year long as a queen, you're horrible. No, I'm not being divisive. I'm being honest. Either you have it or don't.
So just to let everybody know what I'm doing, because I see people see me in my phone. I'm not just in my phone.
Wallpaper. I really
I'm not just in my phone. I'm actually trying to monitor the content that you guys are putting up to try to relay it to them in the midst of their conversation.
Jason, what's your take?
What's your take?
Close of the town.
Okay, so 2 things. Tyra said, don't hate on singers, talent is talent.
Don't hate on singers.
There's no dance without song. So basically, that's what we were not trying to get into, like, what do you consider talent?
No,
that's all other we're talking about. Like I said, I appreciate it all, especially when you're good at that.
Whatever you're good at.
Like Sharia said, I would have never thought that, okay, what do you do for talent? I'm playing the xylophone.
And
but when you turn it up, you know, that's what it is. But also, Philip says the major pageants focus on entertainment value first anyway.
Yes.
So I guess Philip, right. They said the major pageants focus on that.
So basically, J Love said it's different. I'm not cutting you off. J Love said it's different for males entertainers versus female entertainers.
It's very different. So are you saying that you feel? Are you saying that it's different because we're judged different? Or are you saying that it should be for the males? We should look nice and be less talented, and kind of like an accent to the females.
I'm gonna try to clarify that. Come on, JB.
What's your take?
I got a question. Y'all talk so much.
JB,
It's a talk show.
it's a talk show, JB. So do you feel it's more important to be talented or fashionable?
Girl, look at me.
Right, I knew you was gonna say that. So okay, we're gonna let
No, but we're talking. You're saying it in pageantry, correct?
But see,
Here's the thing
this is the thing about where I say, this is the reason why I say it goes hand in hand, because there's a way that you can make even your fashions talented if you have the way to create.
Like I said,
that really is
like originality of it. To be like, I don't want to be the cookie cutter type person when I come out in this. So I mean, that's why I say it goes hand in hand. But like I said, if you have a talented mentality, you can make a whole package entertainment. That's why they probably have the EOYs, where you can't just think inside the box. You have to have a creative. You have to have a creative. So
it should always be.
But the ultimate question is, when everyone has, I think, except Mimi didn't chime in on it when we said, to be talented, you definitely have to have a stage presence. So now the catch-22 of this is, what about the girls who ain't got nobody's stage presence and they only train or you only teach them this one talent for that night? Now all year long you got to send this chick out.
But that's a different thing.
Tyra's not playing with y'all. Tyra said fashion is talented, let's be clear. And then she said you have talented designers and fashion coordinators. So Miss Tyra, we're doing the call-in next week. We got you next week.
Miss Tyra. The field.
We got you next week.
But what about, again, stage presence and what you execute as an entertainer?
Stage presence and talent still should trump everything.
Yeah, it should.
I'm sorry.
In
this industry, it should trump everything. And Tyra, I know you're probably saying like, because
go ahead.
Reason Tyra, like for instance, like entertainment value is different for different people.
Everybody on this panel.
So when I say stage and entertainment value, when I see you, Tyra, do Whitney Houston, I'm engaged in how you carry yourself. It's like effortlessly
mannerism.
on stage. Now it might be a different type of talent than what somebody might want to see at Kennedy Davenport, but at the same difference, the stage presence and the entertainment value trumps to me. It should trump when you're in a profession
Of entertainment,
and you're called an entertainer.
clearly.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you have any further comments on that and we need to address that again, just not email me, just messenger me and we'll go and come back to that topic if you think it's of any importance. Now,
Number 4 is gonna be very controversial.
yes it is, but hold on. Before we go to number 4, Cyril, I'm gonna give you the floor because I know you have some things that you need to announce about what you have going on back in New Orleans. So
Yes.
I know it's not from two, so
Yeah, but in New Orleans, we are having a series of trainings of being the change. It's a hand-in-hand to training, teaching everyone in the community how to be really good peer educators. So come out and educate yourself. It's be once a month. I had the first just on Saturday. We had a wonderful time, very educational, very resourceful, and it will be held at the New Orleans Regional Planning Council, which is 2601 Tulane Avenue, Suite 400. The number is 504-821-7334. Please do call and RSVP. We will make sure that we have all of the flyers for the next session coming up soon. I also want to mention this month is the annual Black Trans Advocacy Conference held in Dallas, Texas. I'm extremely excited. I'm performing Miss Black Trans International, and I'll be performing on that Thursday night because the pageant is on that Thursday. We have a whole lot of seminars, guest speakers, keynotes. So if you wouldn't mind, go check us out, www.blacktransadvocacy.org.
could you do me one more favor? Could you give that first information, that number for that first event you were talking
The
about?
first event, the training, hand-in-hand being change, the number is 504-821-7334, and please do call it for me.
Let me
Sabrina
ask you,
Jackson.
is that open, is that,
That's open to the public. It's
Okay.
open to the community.
I know it's in New Orleans, but I'm saying
Yes.
like, is it anyone in Louisiana or are you just New Orleans? I mean,
I know it's within the 7 parishes
Okay,
that we serve. So there's St. Bernard Parish, Plaquemines Parish, Orleans Parish, St. John Parish, St. Charles Parish, and what's Chalmette? Did I say St. Bernard?
Mhm.
Oh, and there's two
Shall
other
mention
parishes.
Dalmatian.
Yeah, there's two more other parishes. St. John, I said St. John the Baptist.
Mm-hmm. You say St. John.
St. John.
I just
St.
wanna make
Charles.
sure that they.
So there's
St.
7
Charles.
parishes in which we receive funds for. It's called the eligible metropolitan area, the EMA, and those areas. That's all the way to Jefferson Parish. That's all out. That you all are able to come free of charge. And if you need a ride, I'm able to provide transportation as well.
Oh,
There's
you do a
always
lot.
food.
You do
Do
a lot.
y'all use
No, I
Uber?
said
Look at you.
Y'all use Uber?
within the 7
Do
parishes.
y'all Uber the kids there? Or
Yeah,
do y'all Lyft
no, we
them?
Okay.
Uber and or.
Okay, YouTube, we're glad you're still here. If you guys are watching from YouTube and you want to actually see it in a better way, you don't want to turn your phone, go to YouTube, to Shimon at YouTube, and you can join the conversation. Now, we're getting ready to go into our next topic.
Oh, suck it, suck it.
Okay, so
And this topic is presented by,
Cedric, who's not here.
he's not here with us this week, he'll be here next week.
Now, this question can go so many ways. So
Please listen
I
up.
wish he was here to where he could interpret the way he wants to ask, because it can go different directions. But the question is, how do you feel about stripping of family names when someone has made a name for themselves in the industry?
Go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead, do it again, I
One more
distracted
time.
her.
How do you feel about stripping of family names when someone has made a name for themselves in the industry?
So who's stripping the names?
So now that's so is it if the parent decides the stripping of names, how do you feel? And then I guess we can do both sides. How do you feel that they use the name and then they get to where they want to and decide?
And then
they-
say, I don't
they
wanna be
like-
this no more.
So I guess we can actually
Devil's
answer that.
advocate, catch-22.
Answer the question
Yeah, it
of both of them.
Jasmine, since you got so many children,
Oh, please, don't be
The
hard.
Bonet. Mother.
That's why mother's over asleep.
I take it. Out of everything that because you know I've raised a lot of kids, but I have never stripped a name. I have distanced myself from that child, but I've never
But
stripped
that's
it.
still.
Yeah, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only Jasmine used to take your names when you was young. Back then,
Oh.
'cause we didn't know any better.
Oh, who's that back to?
I'm just playing. But yeah, I don't know. To me, there's still a lack of respect there. On and I can't say on both parts. Well, I don't know because you don't know. I really wish he would have delivered it so we would have understood. where he was
Yeah.
coming
I
from.
just-
So
That's
my
like-
thing with
That's
that,
like,
I think both sides, it's just not right.
it's like
on-
having a child
yeah,
in reality,
yeah.
bring them into
Right.
the world.
And
then
they
when
disown
They
get
become an adult and then they
disowned,
don't have your
Yeah.
own,
So I
your
think,
name no more.
I don't think you should
Yeah.
ever disown.
Yeah,
her.
and on the flip side, the child using the name is absolutely wrong too, because at that time, even if I didn't get along with my parents, if I established my name, why would I want to change it?
Okay.
Why, that's like Tina Turner.
She-
She definitely
she
didn't want to be
said
called
my
Ice
name.
She
anymore.
said, I just
Somebody
like to have my name.
Someone-
Tina said,
Someone
I
saying
like
something
my
about
name.
Tina.
Tina
She
just
said,
wanted her
I want
name.
my name.
But, after, okay, it depends, and I'm gonna say
I don't-
this. It depends, if the person has done something to defame the name, they went completely out of character, and they know it's gonna taint what legacy that you have built for the name or for the brand, then therefore it is time to cut this
Separate.
off. Yeah, let's cut this off. I don't want, you may I need to
It's not a
disassociate.
business, it's a family.
But at the same time, you
You
still
don't
have to
cut
cut,
family.
you have to cut family off.
You don't strip their name.
But they do.
They
like-
still Uncle Boo Boo.
But you don't mess with
But
other
you might
people no
get-
more.
you know
You don't
what,
deal
you
with
know
other
what
people no
though,
more.
Jasmine, this is,
still-
that's not
still-
DNA.
still-
I'm gonna be real here, this ain't DNA. This is not DNA.
What do you mean?
This is your friendship.
so
Some
what-
of this is
I'm
not blood.
gonna say this here, when you say that there, and this is why I have a problem.
No, it's family.
When you have a child, and you choose a child, or a child choose you, regardless if you have the same blood in your body, because you can be a relative of mine, but not necessarily a family member of mine.
That's
Because
easy.
blood does not make you family.
Uh-huh.
Family is a strong bond that you develop over a time, and if you get to choose your family over having no choice of who your family is, that's more special than it's DNA or not DNA. But when you are a person who is so hell-bent on a name as opposed to a relationship, then therefore maybe a problem may occur. Because I'm trying my best not to engage into this conversation because my name is Deloria F. Mendoza, and the F now stands for finesse and no longer France, and there's a reason for that.
And that's
So
fine.
I'm
That's
trying
your
not to
personal choice,
engage
though.
into this conversation because I have the utmost respect for her as a person.
Okay.
But when you are a person who is more concerned on if someone is using your name as opposed to how or if they, whatever.
they're
It's just,
living.
yeah, you're more concerned about a name than a relationship, then therefore it is a problem. But when you have a family is forever. It's not temporary, especially if you chose that family. But if you can easily disconnect from a gay family member or whatever, I don't know.
I'm not gonna say
I'm trying not to
say that
engage
it's
in this
easy.
But this is the
I'm
thing.
saying
You're
it's
doing a very
Really
hard
trying not
job.
to-
But
Your
I really don't
engagement
want
is
to
very
engage.
hard.
But this is the thing. I feel that you should engage in it, and I feel that you should speak on it because the reason that you do, you may be speaking to someone who's experiencing what you
Yeah,
experience.
name is a name. I mean, if somebody have all types of issue because of a name, and if you thinking somebody is trying to get somewhere on your name, well, that's where the Mendoza came from. Because
So-
at one time my name was just simply Deloreal France.
So I'm gonna use this because we have things that we don't want to talk about. So Rella, Tatiana, used to be Tatiana Iman. She was one of my kids. We had an incident and she felt the need to drop her name. I respected that because by that time you had made your name of Tatiana and she could stand on her own. So I respected that. You understand? But I don't think Rella owes me anything, and I don't think I owe Rella anything but common respect. If that makes any sense. You know,
It does.
to me, regardless of she claimed me or not, she still would be my child. You know,
And
I may
that
not
to
be
me,
her parent, but she still would be my child.
but that answers to what you're saying, because
Yeah.
like you said, she stood on her own, and for whatever the reasons, whatever the altercation was, you know, y'all, she felt the need to separate, and that is her personal choice. At the end of the day, you cannot undo what's already done. Once you put it out there, it's out there and you can't
That's
undo
my
it.
point. That's my point. My point is, when you decide gay family or straight, when you decide to be in a gay family, in my opinion, and I know this is a touchy subject for you because you did, you know,
I know exactly.
and my sister, she did drop your mom, but in my opinion, I don't think that it just goes back to all the topics that we had as far as the community and how we don't do this right, we don't do this right, we don't take this serious, and a lot of things we don't take serious. At the end of the day, if I fall out with every Johnson in my family, I'm still Christopher Johnson. And in this lifestyle, we have made it too convenient and easy to be able to drop a name because of the simple fact that, oh, well, this ain't real anyway. This ain't
because I want to be clear on something.
And they did die.
I really want to be clear on something. It ain't easy, especially when you love someone and you have a deep-rooted history with that person. But if someone, whoever it may be, thinks that you want to utilize their name to prepare your future, then if you are a person who has self-respect, you get your own name. It's no disrespect to them. But when you are more concerned with a name and what people think of you, as opposed to what do you think of the person who's carrying or who loves you enough to want to carry your name, then that might be a problem. A slight disconnect. It ain't easy. It's not something that comes overnight. It's something you have to come to a decision to say, it's time for me to be my own person, and no disrespect to you. Because as much, I may never see Paris again in my life, they never speak to her again, but she was there in my past, and I appreciate her when my foundation was laid. I don't have any disrespectful connotation, a negative connotation towards her. I just don't wish to engage in a future.
It comes with the two individuals too.
Right.
Because a mother or a father should never make a child feel like if they don't do X, Y, and Z, I'm gonna let you. Oh, you're gonna drop the name. You know, and the child shouldn't make the parent feel like, well, you know, I'm only using your name because you're, you know,
that was never the case.
Whatever. So,
Trinity Kardashian had she wrote in the read that.
out.
Okay, I'll read this out.
You gotta speak up, JP.
This is for,
Sorry.
this is for you, Trinity. I wanted to be a Bonet because of Jasmine. We had no relationship. I didn't meet her until 5 years after using her name. Not sure if I used her name, but I knew I wanted to be in that family, whether they knew me or not.
It really goes back to what Christopher was saying. When you choose people for family, you go strictly. But when you choose people just because you wanted to be a part of something, you didn't really know us, you just looked at us and said you wanted to be a part of that, that's really not a true connection. But in that, Trinity learned how to be family. Because this is between me and you, Trinity. I love you to death. I really do. Because I had an opportunity to do just what we talked about. But I would never do that. You will always be a Bonet. You will always be a Bonet. You don't have to prove it. We've been there, done that, and now even more so you're a Bonet. So, to you, I salute you, Bonet.
Well, I want to be a Bonet
So
too.
do they even know that Tiffany, who Tiffany Bonet is? Do they
Well, they
know
probably
who she
That's
is?
the whole thing.
That's the
They
thing.
don't want to
Do they
be
know
a
who your
family,
mother
and
is?
it ain't no
Do they know who your
about
mother
family
is?
history.
Because
Alexis Bonet.
they don't ask those questions.
Well, they should.
But
Before they
this
even want to
not-
become that.
Or they don't know the person they want to be
Okay, so
family members with.
we only got an
I'm just asking the question. Why are we asking questions? I'm
Well,
saying
what-
because it's one of the
well-
most popular, but do they even know
The
the
legacy.
history or the legacy behind that?
But you know what? The problem that I have is that individual's due diligence to find out the information.
That's what
that
me and
is
Jasmine
now,
just said.
now, don't get mad if I question you on You see what I'm saying? So you have to be ready because everything that we do, we have to be ready. If a pageant come up, we have to be ready.
Be ready.
If you're ready, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So that's another topic. But we're gonna end that one. We're gonna end. We solved that. We got one more before we close out our show.
So what do we collectively decide? That it's not right?
That you don't do that.
You don't do what? Because we don't know how Cedric
We don't do that, right? We collectively.
Well, we said based on what we understood you to say that we wouldn't agree that you scripted.
I mean,
And the folks should get it.
every situation has
It depends on the situation, yeah. It depends on the situation.
But for the most part, it shouldn't be that easy.
Well, let me go down the panel.
Oh, I'm mad at you. I'm gonna
Let me go down the panel. Saria, have you ever expedited anyone out of your family?
Expedited, no, but I have distanced myself from a good bit.
But you did not take the name.
No, I
right?
didn't.
Okay. So Jasmine, have you done it?
No.
DeRay, have you done it with any
None of them carry my name. None of my children carry my name. Not a one.
I thought this was a show about not mess. I had this messy.
It's not messy.
Well, it shouldn't be messy. But what I'm trying to say is, I'm asking this. I'm not asking have you been. I'm asking have you
as a
have you
parent.
have
Yes,
you removed
as a parent.
have you
With
removed
a
someone
name.
from your family name due to not being in agreement?
Thankfully, nobody is a Mendoza just yet that I know of.
Okay, so you have.
I have never disconnected from, or I have disconnected from some of my kids, but I still consider them my kids. And even though I don't carry the name France, I still am connected to my brothers and sisters who are friends.
Right.
And I have, forever that lady will always be my mom. You know, she said it's just like estrangement, I guess, is the best word to say, as opposed to disconnect. I'm estranged. But sometimes it's
Paris.
Paris, France.
Yeah, we know a lot. We know we old. So.
Yeah. But
We was talking about
sometimes you just have to be able to. I don't think it's right to tell a child, don't use my name or I'm gonna disown you or whatever. Because if it's history
Cannot be
is,
undone.
you can't undo history. You can only choose another path towards a different future with or without a person, but respectfully. And sometimes if a person just assumes that their name is more important than the relationship, then if you need to be able to be your own person and build on your own name.
Come on, Chris.
The answer's no.
Okay, but piggybacking off of that, it was a time. Now, this is being real. It was a time, and as we know this, from our my mother is Chanel St. James. Hers is Alexis Bonet. So there was a time when your name carried a lot of weight.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes, yes.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, there was a time when the name carried more weight than the connection with the person.
Oh yeah.
Because there was a time when people were attaching themselves to you merely off of your name that you had made, or the family name which it had made.
But I was attached to that person before any
I
of
didn't
these
really
people
know
knew
that. I
that
didn't really-
name. Before they even knew that person would become who she became.
Yes.
So that name was always irrelevant to
But
me.
but you
I
may
didn't
say
I didn't name myself. I chose Jasmine, but I was just Jasmine. I didn't have a last name. I just knew in time that would come. So I just wanted to.
and oftentimes
Do the talent show.
people will snatch you up just due to they will see
So
your
it really
greatness.
wasn't about trying to be part of anything. It was just
Really
you
right,
to
correct.
survive.
I can't. No, you're absolutely right. I'm not knocking you at all. So yeah, y'all got any more to add to that? We will address that
go on
again.
to another
She
one.
escaped the
Next
bullet. Yeah, next week.
I
We're not even going to do advertising. You have anything else you need to advertise? Jazz, you want to promote anything else? I mean, DeRay, anybody want to promote anything?
The tour Rhythm is coming to a city near you that I'll be choreographing for. It's Stencil Productions. Basically like a hour and a half, like so you think you can dance different pieces or whatever. And,
Are you using members of the community or you have your own cast?
I was actually asked to be a part of someone else's establishment
Okay.
already, trained dancers and all. I'm like basically I'm doing approximately 15 pieces out of the 30 pieces, and I did bring on some of my folks.
Yes,
you know, I believe in
Do you-
giving that chance.
Okay, so how do they how do they get
Um,
information?
You can actually just if you guys are on Facebook right now, just go to my page. I'll be giving information out as it comes. Right now we have 15 cities confirmed. I don't know the actual dates and everything, but next year is definitely going to. And I just thank God for giving me this opportunity.
Amen.
And no, please know, and if I can, if whatever we talk about, it is back to this dream and goal thing. It is never, ever, ever too late. Jasmine is turning 50. I'm turning 20. No, but in all seriousness, it has not been kicking. It is just now kicking off for me, and this is where someone would probably say, at this time, you should already know what's what, and if it hasn't happened, it's too late. Never give up on your dreams.
And we make choices in life that defers our dreams.
Yeah.
Yes,
They don't deter.
they just
They
defer.
defer.
They just
That's
defer.
what I said.
So, Cyril, do you need to briefly read over your topics because yours is next.
Oh, I'm
Close
the
it on
last
out.
one.
Yeah.
So
Give
that's
her. I don't know how we can get to it so she can see her topics.
I got my phone
that's
on
on your
dead.
phone. Your phone. Her phone dead.
I'm sorry, y'all.
So can you get to the chat room? Get to the chat
I
room.
don't know where
It's in our room. No, it's in the
No, our
message.
chat room. So she
Oh.
can see her what you call. In the meantime, guys, we will be here every Monday at 6:30. Okay? So this is the thing that I want to want everybody to really understand. DeRay lives in Columbia, South Carolina. Cyril is in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Yes.
But they are making way to come and be a part of this panel for this first season. Keep in mind the season ends March 14th, and we would
May
like.
14th.
I'm sorry, May 14th.
That's my
I'm sorry.
birthday.
And I
May-
live way out in Stone Mountain.
And you live in Stone Mountain.
You drove a long way.
Jasmine stay in Tennessee.
Live in Tennessee.
She lives. She live. I'm sorry. She lives in Tennessee.
Everybody think I'm saying.
She lives in Tennessee.
And she came
Christopher and
2.5
I.
hours too.
We just around the way. So, and I say that to say, any advertisement during the show is greatly appreciated. If you want us to announce your pageant or whatever, we'll put the Cash App starting next week, and the monies that we raise will go to their transportation to getting them back and forth to here to be part of this panel. So, if you have a pageant that you would like to for us to announce, if you have a show or anything, it's only a $20 charge. You just pay through Cash App, then you send it, and we will announce it because we're about getting the information out. But I want you guys to also understand the sacrifices that we're making to come together as a unit to help our community and make our community more aware of things that probably you may have these conversations, with yourself and with your girlfriend. We just want to explore and expose more opportunities to getting the answers in and I'm trying to keep a Jesus clothes. My mom was told me supposed to put a prayer cloth across your skirt and your shirt. Yeah. So you good? You got it?
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, real quick before she does her topic, shout out to Jess Cameron and Honey Star Dickinson. They won Westland Film and MI last night.
Okay. We can't
Congratulations, brother.
we can't leave the Continental.
The
We can't leave the
Continental.
Continental. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Continental, what do we have? Elite. Shout out to my girl, Lorna Vando.
Yes, Lorna.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Cheyenne Valentino.
Cheyenne,
Did
we
an
love you.
absolutely
She
fabulous
won
job.
Continental Plus.
She won Continental Plus, but not just that. I want to salute a lot of people in Elite and Continental Plus that we know. Atlanta showed up. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just
No,
real.
no.
Like it was a great contest. Let me tell you, it was so many highlights of all three nights really, because prelim night they did, but it was so many highlights from so many contestants. I could go on and on, but a big shout out to Monica Lust.
Yes.
When as if they called her out as the winner, only because everybody knew her journey and how bad she just wanted to at least experience that final. The past 2 years she did not make it, and if you see her, you know she spent the coin all 3 years.
She gonna spend a coin.
She spent a
She gonna spend a coin.
So when they called her name, it was like the whole crowd just like immediately you couldn't even go into the next final. So that was a highlight. It was so many highlights. Flame Monroe.
Yes, Flame.
For Elite. She was
Maya.
hilarious. Maya came, and when I tell you, just the whole pageant was absolutely
Shavonna Brooks.
Great. Shavonna, I helped Shavonna,
Shavonna
and even
looked
the folks that didn't make the 12, Nikki and all of them.
Shavonna looks real good on her side.
Albion.
Shout out to Albion for making them not only the 12,
But the five,
the 5, and in the top 3.
Her first
So,
year.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ariane. It was just a lot of great, and some of the entertainers that I don't know their names, but I just remember specific talents and stuff like it was just Kitty Litter broke up talent. It's just a lot. Probably was great this year.
Okay, so go ahead.
And also the last thing, on a more serious note, since we're on Continental, shout out to the new honorary Miss Continental League, Miss Knight. For those of you who do not know, which I doubt anybody doesn't know, she passed recently. Jim Flint, hours before she passed, decided to give her, to honor her, that title. And shortly thereafter, she passed. She did get the message from her husband, Mike. She mustered up enough energy to open her eyes and give a slight smile. And from there, I said this in my post, I really believe that she felt that was enough. And she was good. So I do have information for those of you who want to attend. You can go to www.thomasfunerals.com. Her funeral will be at St. John's Church of Christ. The doors are open at 10, the service at 11. I think it's after service at 1 o'clock. In Dayton, Ohio. And so all the rest of the information, because I'm assuming that it's this Saturday, but you can go to www.thomasfunerals.com for that. And a big shout out once again for the legendary Misty Knight. I'm sure we all had a story about something that she's done.
And that's the great thing about people that you may not know. Do know her life had a purpose, and it touched a lot of us. It allowed a lot of us to be who we are. So you may not know her per se, but do know if everybody's mentioning her name, she was a great person that was respected by all. So rest in heaven, Misty Knight. Okay, guys, we're getting ready to wrap up. We got getting ready to do our last topic before we close out our first episode, guys. We did our first episode.
First one.
The panel. So Cyrene's going to close us out with the first topic. Pay attention.
It's very simple, but it's about leadership. And the question is, are you a leader or are you a follower? If you're a leader, who are you who's following you? But if you're a follower, who's leading you? And it comes back about family. It comes back about respect. It comes back about entertainment. All of these things come back because either you are a leader or you are a follower. I remember when I was a follower, and I came out at a tender age at 14. I came out on the scene at 15, and and this is in Baton Rouge at Scandalous. And I ran into, but at 15, I had a transgender mom, and her name was China St. James. She gave me my first hormone shot and introduced me to the black market of hormone replacement therapy. But then when I got into entertainment, I ran into Kariana Sinclair, and Kariana, your sister, and she became my drag mother. And then I didn't become a leader. I didn't want to accept the responsibilities of a leader until recently. And when I say recently, it was in like the last 3 years. Because as you're leading, you have to hold yourself to a standard. Because you can't say one thing and do another and expect people to follow you. Accountability. I didn't want to have that much pressure on me. I just wanted to do me and have everybody expect me and respect me and love me. It's just me. I'm just Cyrea. No, I'm not no title holder. I'm just Cyrea. And it comes accountability when you do become a national title holder, when you do become a gay parent, when you become a real parent, a biological parent. There's a lot of accountability. But I remember when I was following, how I was following. I remember seeing Kariana work at Circle K, do drag, and attend Southern University to get a degree. I remember trying to maintaining a husband, finding ways to maneuver through mainstream society as a black trans woman, and helping others, reach their goals of transition. Those are the things that I looked at and took from those individuals. And that's why I'm trying to figure out, when you're leading someone, what are you teaching them? or when you're following someone, what are you absorbing from them?
I think everybody who is a person who has grown from somewhere was always a follower, and every leader, every great leader was a great follower. But I will say this here, you know, I had a wonderful, and I did say that, a wonderful relationship with my mother in this industry and this lifestyle, whatever you want to call it, because at that time of my life, I was attending an all-boy high school, and I was so grateful to have a pair of friends in my life who showed me how it was to become a woman, because I knew her before any of you knew who she was as Paris, the person. And I watched her transition, and I blossomed from that, and I respect that. And her tenacity and her boldness, I got it. She gave it to me, and I took it, and now I'm leading my own direction. But at the same time, everyone who is a great leader was a great follower. And even though you may not follow people to the end of their journey, there's no need to ever assume that a person don't remember or is not grateful for the times that that person was in their life. I just want to say that.
I'm glad that you said that, because I was trying to figure out, well, now, how do you when I listen to her, I'm like, well, you can be one another, and I'm glad that both of you said yes. I've been both. I was a follower. LaWanda Jackson has probably been one of the most influential people in my life. She has influenced me professionally, and more so personally. Met her in 2004, and we looked at the college game, and we both did team drama, and they said we weren't going to get along because we both did this character.
And I was paying. Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
So you gonna attack and I don't attack back?
I'm sorry.
All right.
I thought I wanted to just click in. That was why.
So with that being said, they said we weren't gonna like each other, and she walked up to me, and I walked up to her and said, "Hey, sister," she said, "Hey." She said, "Well, you know, I know you do Tina, so you go ahead and do it." I said, "No, you do it." And I did it one show, she did the next show. I remember they told me, said that we would not like each other, we wouldn't get along.
They didn't know LaWanda, but that lady is, she likes everybody.
And with that being said, I brought her to my city at a bar that I worked at. I don't open my home up to many people. This one has been in my home.
I ain't opening your house.
Because we didn't know each other like that, but you're welcome now.
Okay.
So,
How about that? We fast.
so she came to my home, and we bonded. I cooked for her, picked up from the airport, and we've been friends since 2004. Let me say this. The way she influenced me personally, she allowed me, or she taught me that it was okay to let my guard down, because I'm very guarded. And she taught me to let my guard down and let people see the DeRay that she knows, because everybody didn't get to know that. And I'm thankful to her, because I probably would have still been nothing, and I could have been blocking my own blessings. So I followed her in that retrospect. I went on America's Got Talent, made the top 40. She called me when I was in LA, but one of the technicians said, DeRay, I don't care when you get home, you better put a show together. I don't care if you do it on the corner, if you do it on the sidewalk, whatever. You got to strike while the iron is hot. And she said, you got to do this. As a leader, I created an illusion show. And it's almost going into its 10th year. So that one person has influenced my life.
It was 10 years since you were on record next time.
This year makes it 10 years.
Wow.
I remember that.
Thank God good.
And I'm thankful, but the growth that so many people see, I'm going to credit you, LaWanda, if you're watching this. Thank you. She's a stroke survivor, and she never let it stop her. Her heart and her spirit are beyond amazing, and I only hope in my life, if I'm blessed to see the 57 years that she's seen, that I'm half the person that she is.
Amen.
Come on, LaWanda.
Who else on the line?
Son.
Well, it's funny because how she posed the question is, are you a follower or a leader? The answer to that, and everybody should agree, in my opinion, because I can't even think of a way where it could not even be not factual. But at any point of your life, you're never just one. So, in all aspects, you're going to have to follow someone, and in all aspects, you're going to be leading someone if you live. My answer to that question is, I will always be a leader, and I'll always be a follower. I've learned so many things, and to be honest, if you ever say that you're just one, you're either giving yourself too much or you're not giving yourself enough credit. So to say that you're a leader only means that you know it all.
Yeah.
So there's no possible way that you can know it all, because every day you can learn something. Then if you continue to just be a follower, you're cutting yourself short or selling yourself short, because there's somebody watching you that you have to be inspired. Even if you don't know it, you are. So in that aspect, I will always be both. I will always continue to grow. I will always pay homage to people who paved the way. I mean, my mother. And I would hope that the people that follow me, my kids, or anybody who aspires to be like me, not me, but like me, I hope that, I'll continue to lead in the right direction.
Come on, JB, close it up. We finna get on out of here. No, it's not that. The only reason why I posed the question to you, because I know you, back in the day we started this, and what people fail to realize is we weren't really following nobody. We were making our own way. Not to say that there weren't leaders, but there weren't leaders necessarily for us. The people that inspired me from the industry didn't even do shows. And I always mention Candy Johnson, because she was the show director at Loretta's at the time. You know, Candy was not, she didn't do shows. But she motivated you and she encouraged you in such a way that if you did not have a parent, you now do. And that meant more to me because I was a family, this child. Let's say that. And that was important to me. Now, when it came to my craft, the people that taught me how to be the leader I am were on videotapes, like Tandy Andrews, Tommy Ross. Those people, they weren't in my grasp, and I couldn't physically learn from them. So they educated me through the videotapes and their walks of life. And it inspired me to want to be a leader as such. Now, not to say I haven't followed, I have, but my following comes from my mother, my uncles, people that instilled stuff in me that's greater than that moment of satisfaction. That, you know what I'm saying? They really wanted me to live a better life, my best life. So they instilled certain things in me then, and they live by example. You don't slap a girl if you're a man. Back in the day. Wasn't no more, but now I'm just saying, like, but, right, but you see what I'm saying? We had morals and things that we went by back in the day. And
you're gonna get one back.
But I think on this topic, I'm gonna leave it alone. I think that there are a lot of leaders that have forgotten how to lead. And there are a lot of newcomers that should be followers. And I'm not saying newcomers as in, a title. I'm saying individuals that's coming in this game that should be following the lead of a lot of the professionals, but now have jumped the gun and become leaders themselves with their own flock. Not to say babies teaching babies, but not, you didn't finish the class to really know how to teach them.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I was referencing that, Jay, because I always use us because we're older. And I don't know if Alexis Bonet were leaders to you, or I'm just using the people that was in our immediate circle. But for me, I didn't see a lot of leaders that was actually on the stage. Like Sharif Franklin, they taught us about life. Regina Franklin, they taught us about, how to keep a household together because they had a kid, at that time. And regardless of what you thought he was or what she was, they still maintained that family value for that kid, So stuff like that goes beyond the stage as far as leadership for me. Jay, you got anything to add?
say I was a leader, although I couldn't really say I was a follower. That's really a hard call in this industry. I just know when I started that you just had to, drag wasn't about being spectacular or wanting to be all of that. Drag really was just a means of survival. That's where it started. Like, we could go down there, it'd be hot, it'd be warm, it's a nightclub. Sometimes we may even have food up there. And you could make $7,500. You know, free money. You know what I mean? You know, so that's where drag really started with me. I was able to, when I dropped out of college, long enough story, dropped out of college, it was a place to call home. You know, that's what it was about. It was about surviving. It wasn't about being all glamorous. Really about surviving.
Well, I must say, I am so proud of this family. I really, really am. I'm proud of our first episode. I'm proud of the people that tuned in to watch what we had to say. We ask that you join us on next Monday at 6:30. At 6:30, we're gonna start on time, hopefully. Due to the fact that they are traveling, you know, we're hoping.
I'll be on time next week.
Keep in mind, guys, this is a new platform, and it's about our community. So if you can reach out to either one of us. You know, Jasmine is an honorary member of the couch, so she's welcome anytime she's in the city. If you are also in the city, don't think that this is a clique type of thing, and you would like to come into the studio and be part of the conversation, or you got something going on you'd like to promote, just get in touch with us. Either one of us will let us know. We'll get you on the calendar. Keep in mind, this is the first season of The Panel. What's popular in the book? The Panel. And our closing show will be May 14th at Club Mix, and you're welcome to come to a live taping. Yes, because we're doing stuff differently this go round. So we appreciate everybody for tuning in. Oh my God, you just don't understand how grateful we are. We appreciate you for tuning in. If you missed this episode on Facebook, you can always go to YouTube to the Shibon page. It's going to be on AYGTV.com. You can find it there on my website. We're going to be accessible. So shout out to you. Applause to the audience that we had that tuned in. We are grateful. Join us next week as we kick off another rendition of What's Popular on the Book?
The Panel.
The Panel.
Good night, everybody. See you next week.
Good night.
Jasmine, once you in hip hop, I said hip hop.
He gotta hear you. He gotta hear you too.
To the end, hip hop. Yeah, hip hop. They got
Share or post?
post.
It don't say post, it says share.
So what is it, boy? It's a share. It's a share.
What about the YouTube? We still rolling on YouTube?
Yeah, we
Yep.
can use
All
it.
right,
Thank you for tuning in, YouTube.
Thank you.
Now, how the hell I end this?
It's gone on, bro?
Not yet.
We working.
Bye,
YouTube.
Bye, YouTube. Well, you gotta get these pictures so we can actually get them up on the website. So guys, we have to move up the
What am I
camera
doing?
or something. You can't do it. Boom, can you stop it? End it.
The infamous Boom.
Back on the first episode.
Come on, Boom, you back?
Not the infamous.
Yeah.
You can't hit the X up there and then ends it. It's an X up there somewhere.
Yeah, I was afraid to press that though.
Yeah, and then it should say post. Only say post.
It says, are you